Imagine walking down the street of your town. Everything is normal, but suddenly you see a woman. She is dancing. She does not look happy. In fact, she looks terrified. She is crying. Her feet are bleeding, but she cannot stop. You think she is crazy or drunk, but the next day, the morning, people joined her. A week later, there are over 30 people dancing in the streets. They do not sleep, they do not eat. They just dance until their hearts stop, and then die, and then die. This is not a horror movie. This really happened in Europe hundreds of years ago. It is called the Dancing Mania or the Dancing Plague. Welcome back to the Star Ghost. Today we are going back to the year 1518 to look over one of the most bizarre and terrifying mysteries in human history. Our story began in July 1518. The place is Strasbourg, a city in France. But back then, it was part of the Holy Roman Empire. One completely normal day, a woman named Frau Trophy stepped out of her house without any music and without any reason. She starts to dance. Her husband begged her to stop. Her neighbors look at her in shock. But Frau Trophy couldn't stop. She danced for the whole day. When the night came, she collapsed from the exhaustion. But next morning, she woke up and immediately started dancing again. Her feet were covered in blood and dirt. She was screaming in pain, but her body kept moving. By the end of the week, something even more terrifying happened. They did not talk to each other. They just shared the same crazy movements. Within a month, there were about 400 people dancing in the streets of Strasbourg. The city of Strasbourg was in total chaos. People were dying every day. Some died from heart attacks, some from strokes, and others from pure exhaustion. The streets were full of sweat, screaming, dancing bodies. The leaders of the city and the doctors did not know what to do. Today, if people get sick, we go to hospital. But in 1518, science was very different. The doctors ruled out supernatural causes. They said this was a natural disease caused by hot blood. And here comes the most stupid decision in history. The doctors believed that the only way to cure these people was to make them dance even more. They thought if people danced day and night, the hot blood would leave their bodies and they would be cured. So the city council actually built a big wooden stage in the middle of the city. They hired professional musicians to play loud music, and they even hired strong men to hold the dancing people up so they wouldn't fall. What happened next? It made everything 10 times worse. The music attracted even more people. The disease spread faster. It was a total disaster. When the doctors failed, the people turned to the church. In the 16th century, people were very religious. They believed that if the science couldn't explain it, it must be a curse from God or a punishment from Satan. People of Strasbourg became convinced that they were cursed by Saint Vitus. He was a Christian saint from the past. In the medieval folklore, it was believed that if you anger Saint Vitus, he would send the plague that forced you to dance. The city changed the strategy. They banned all music and dancing in public. If you played the drum, you were fined. They took the dancing people, put them into wagons, and drove them to a special shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus up in the mountains. The priest put red shoes on the feet of the dancers and prayed for them. And guess what? After a few weeks of dancing slowly stopped, the plague ended as mysteriously as it started, but it left hundreds of dead bodies behind. For centuries, scientists and historians have asked one simple question: why? Why can hundreds of people dance you till they die? Over the years, we have developed two main theories. Let's look at them. Theory number one, ergot poisoning. Ergot is a type of fungus that grows on grain, especially rye, which people use to make bread. When people eat bread with fungus, it behaves like a very dangerous drug, similar to LSD. It can cause hallucination, spasms, and crazy body movements. Many scientists thought, hey, a village ate bad bread, went crazy, and started dancing. But there is a problem with this theory. Ergot poisoning makes your blood vessels small. It makes you very hard to move. If you have ergot poisoning, you cannot dance for days. You can barely walk. So this theory is probably wrong. This brings us to theory number two, mass hysteria. To understand this, we need to look at what life was like in Strasbourg in 1518. It was terrible. The people suffered from extreme poverty, hunger, and deadly disease like smallpox. They lived in constant fear and stress. Modern psychologists believe that when human stress becomes too high, the human mind can snap. It can cause a psychological phenomenon called mass psychogenic illness or mass hysteria. One person under extreme stress starts acting crazy, and because everyone else is also terrified and stressed, their brains copy the behaviors. They enter a trance stage, like hypnotism. They are not choosing to dance. Their brains are locked in a nightmare. Strasbourg in 1518 was the biggest dancing plague, but it wasn't the only one. There were outbreaks in Germany, Utrecht, and other parts of Europe. The dancing mania showed us how powerful and how terrifying the human mind can be. When reality becomes too dark to bear, their brains find a way to escape, even if it means dancing you till your heart stops. What do you think? Was it a bad breath, a curse from Saint, or a mass hysteria? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to The Story Ghost for more dark mysteriouses from history. Thank you for watching and see you in the next story.